Hi guys, this is Sarah from Weird Horizon Podcast, and you are listening to Bigfoot Club Podcast.
Hey guys, please go to our website at www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. Check out all our merch and all our old episodes. Also, please look for our social media on Twitter, Facebook, on Instagram at Bigfoot Club, the number 1. Also, check out Matt Knapp's Bigfoot Crossroads. He is on all platforms. If you have any paranormal or Bigfoot stories, please email us at bigfootclub1@gmail.com.
Hey everybody, Bigfoot Club, Season 4, Episode 30. I'm here with
Uncle Robert.
And this is Steven Dominguez. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. This is a good week. I think we're finally getting over the sickness stuff. Right? Knock on wood.
I think I just embraced being sick from here on out. I want to cough. Since we're talking about it, I want to cough right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey.
I know you weren't coughing earlier, and now when I hit record, you want to start coughing.
Yeah. See?
You suck, man. Are you trying to cough loud?
No, because you made me laugh, and that made me cough.
Oh, okay.
So it's really, actually, in all honesty, it's probably your fault because you made me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So, yeah, it's been a good work week, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Anything interesting happening at work?
No, not really. I don't really want to talk about it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, work has been good on my end, too. I got back on Twitch. I decided to play God of War Ragnarok on the PS4.
I saw that.
Yeah,
this week.
I was like, because, okay.
So, wait, hold on. You didn't even post it. You just jumped on and started doing it.
So here's what happened. So I'm at my job, right? And then we did a merger. And we have 3 people. 3 people from 2 of them in Utah, 1 of them King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. They work from home from Quinch, and they came to Texas to teach us the new program that Quinch uses for our department. So I got to get to know them, and they're all gamers, and they're all like, "Yeah, man, ever since Ragnarok came out, like I had to bring my PS5 with me. It's at the hotel, and all this, blah blah blah." I go, "You gotta be kidding me, man? Are you serious?"
They're real gamers, and they do that.
They brought their PS5 to the hotel here just to play God of War Ragnarok, and I was like, yeah, I got the Jotunheim edition. They're like, "Oh my god, really?" Like, I was like, that's a limited edition. What came with it? And I was showing them. They're like, "Oh man, you must really what part are you at on the game?" I go, I'm not playing it." What? You don't have what? What happened? I was like, I have a PS4, but it's like it's really old, and I don't know if it's going to handle it. I don't know, and I'm not going to play it until I get a PS5. And they're like, "Oh man, I don't know. It's going to be kind of hard, man. Like,
yeah.
You just got that big box up there. How much do you want for? Oh god." So,
how many people have asked you to buy that?
That's my third. It was my third time.
Yeah.
Third person asking me how much they wanted for, or how much I wanted for it. And I was like, no, sorry.
Has Logan asked you?
Logan?
Yeah.
No, he posted on my post about it. He's like, "Man, I gotta hook you up with a PS5, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, do it, man, please."
Yowie Dan is messaging you right now.
About what? Thongs?
No, it's like some video. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to play it.
But yeah, no, I just, I was like, you know what? Screw this, man. I'm gonna play the PS4 version, and I'm gonna Twitch it. So I've been twitching it.
Yeah, that first night you didn't even do it. You just did it. You usually
I didn't even, because usually I have a routine. I'll post something on a Discord, and I'll post something on the Facebook, on TikTok, TikTok.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, you know what? No, screw it. I'm just gonna do it.
Do you think if you would have posted something, it would have crashed?
Probably. I think that's what it was. The day that I do post it on there, though, I was like, "Hey man, I'm going to be playing. This is my part 3 video. Of blah blah blah. Meet me at 7:30. Blah blah blah." It
was lagging, right?
And then I was like, you know what? I said 7:30. I'm gonna start playing it at 7:19. At 7:28, it crashed.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you serious?" So I had to restart my PS4 And then I played it from there, and it was okay from. It was just sounded like a plane.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I got in late. Whenever I didn't realize you were playing. Mm-hmm. I was texting you a bunch, and you.
I think you called me too, and I was like, I can't answer, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because I was using my phone. I didn't have my laptop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
G's up.
Hey, man, this Coke Zero is really good.
Yeah. Well, check this out.
I swear to you, it's not beer. It's Coke Zero.
I do want to say, I haven't talked to you about this, but I finished writing my story for Uncle Richard, the almighty Donatu. So I finished it. I finished writing it like a month ago. And it was like 4 issues, 22 pages. And I handed him like the 4 issues. I emailed it to him, and he emailed me back like the next day and said, hey, can you make the last issue 32 pages? And I said, yeah, sure, I can do that. So, which was kind of good anyway, because I got to add a lot of backstory on how, I'm not going to give a lot away. I just don't want to do that yet. So I did a lot of backstory on how the plot was created. And so it was kind of cool. So I had like 10 pages to do it, and I did it, and I ended it pretty good, so I'm pretty happy. I know you haven't had a chance to read it.
I have not. I think with that, because I remember when you sent me the Gato Negro one, you were sending it to me issue by issue, and I'd find myself, I had to read that. Well, it's probably different now, because I had sleep apnea real bad there, and when you sent me the next issue, I go, man, I don't remember what happened on the last issue. What the hell? Yeah. So I'd have to reread it and then read the second one, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, good. I know what's going on now. I'm good. And then I go, when are you going to do issue 3? You're like, oh, no, I'm working on it. And then like about a month later, it's like, hey, I sent you issue 3. I go, sweet. Wait, what happened? So I had to reread.
Well, actually,
it.
Actually, if you would have read it, and the third or second page, it was like there's like a synopsis on what happened on the previous page, on the previous issue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I noticed that too, but I was like, oh, wait, there's a synopsis. Yeah, sleep apnea is bad, man.
Yeah. Sure. So I finished that. I gave it to Uncle Richard like last week. You serious?
Oh, man. I think it's just Coke Zero.
Whatever. And so, yeah, I finished it. I gave it to him, and he wrote me back like the next morning, said I loved it, and he gave it to the artist to start working on it. So, and in my next project with him, I'm working on a 4-page, a 4-issue on El Gato Negro, on the grandfather of Agustin Guerrero, and so it's like his beginning. So I'm calling it EGN Generations.
Bloodline.
No.
Blood work?
No.
Lab work?
I'm not doing Roman Reigns. Sorry.
Lineage?
No. I'm not doing any of that. So
Ancestry?
So I'm started writing on that, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, so it's like the beginnings of El Gato Negro and where he got to where he's going. So, and then he's got some other projects working. He wants me to. We're supposed to meet up and talk about some other stuff. He wants me to start writing. And then when I about a month ago, I went to the Latin Comic Con with Uncle Richard.
I remember.
And I met up with Robert Arista. He's an artist. And he approached me about writing a story for him. So I'm supposed to meet up with him and sit down and talk about a story. I actually don't know what he wants me to write. So I got to sit down and talk to him about it.
What if he wants you to write something about a giant burrito?
No, I don't.
Steven.
I've seen this guy's work. He's a really good artist. I don't think he's going to waste his time on a burrito.
See, that's your fault. You made me laugh.
No, you're drinking cold shit, and then you're drinking it.
And no, this is not really cold.
Whatever.
It's got like a couple ice cubes in it.
So, but other than that, that's what I got going on the side, on the writing side.
Was there a lot of people there in the Comic-Con?
At first I wasn't, and then I think it's a good. I think it was a good spot to have it at. It's just I think they probably didn't needed more time to push it. Yeah, promote it, put it on social media and stuff. Like, because I think, you know, we got a lot of people walking in within the last couple hours we were there.
That was at the Irving?
No, this was at the Latin Culture Center in downtown Dallas. It's off of, I think it was right next to Ross and...
Because it looked familiar. It looked like I've been there before.
No, I think this it looked new to me. It looked fairly new. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. So, but it looked new. It would look really clean, and it's a good venue. Actually, it's a really good venue set up for theater style.
Oh my goodness, man! Which is the one that we went to?
It was Wizard World.
Wizard World with Thomas Jane. The other one.
Yeah, that was.
Where was that at?
That was at the Irving Convention Center.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I remember. Yeah, me and
that one is set up for a huge conference. The Latin one is set up for a conference, but not that huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They have like the hallway, and then they have like a really good theater. It's really good. Air conditioning in there was great. Man, it was like super cold, but anyway.
Nice. No, like the one that was it Wizard World, the Urban Convention Center. That one. That's whenever I met Thomas Jane.
Yes.
With I'm not gonna say his name, but yeah, he was with me.
Yeah. I was there too. I met him too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you forget about me or what?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you took us there. I mean, how else would we have gotten there?
You could have said, yeah, you met him too. So
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, you did meet him. Yeah, that was whenever we took a picture together and I was chewing gum.
Steve Niles was there too.
Steve Niles?
Mm-hmm.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yep, he was.
No, because every time I was there, every time I went to try to meet Steve Niles, I was working.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you went to two convention centers where Steve Niles was there and you met him twice.
Yeah.
And you got him to sign my comic books because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, can you take some of these comic books and have them sign
That's
them?
right. That's right.
Yeah. No, I met Thomas Jane, and what I loved about our conversation with him is that, you know, everybody was getting the Mist or the Punisher for him to sign. And here comes me bringing up the Criminal Macabre comic books. I was like, hey, man. I was going like that, pushing it.
Yeah.
Hey, can you sign these? He goes, holy crap. He goes, where did you get this?
Yeah,
at?
he was really surprised about that.
He's like, what the heck? Where did you get this? I was like, yeah, man, I'm a real big fan. So you're gonna do a movie?
Because the guy, when Steve Niles did Criminal Macabre, I forgot the name of the artist, but he...
What did you actually call it, though?
Criminal Macabre.
Criminal Macabre. Yeah, Criminal Macabre is about a guy who does drugs and drinks a lot and has a ghoul as best friend.
But the artist would make the main character look like Thomas Jane.
Yeah. Well, Thomas Jane did some photos of it, and then they just comic booked it, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was all like, "Man," he goes, "This is a first for me." Like, I really made an impression. I was like, so
he was sitting on top of the table too. He wouldn't sit in the chair. He wouldn't sit in his chair.
He had a chair right there, but I think he got tired of it. It was one of those lawn chairs.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't comfortable. It probably wasn't. And yeah, he was just sitting on the table and he was just signing the Mist.
I mean, he didn't have any product, right? He was just there signing stuff.
The Mist just came out, so he was just autographing that and taking pictures.
Yeah.
So when I brought the comic books, so and so that was with me goes, "Why are you bringing that for?" Because there's fucking Thomas Jane on the front. Oh yeah. So yeah, he signed it and he was all like, "Man," like I was like, "Are you gonna do a movie?" Because I keep asking Steve what he wants to do with it, and you know, I'm definitely open. I really like this character. It's interesting. I go, yeah, that would be kind of cool. Like, you know, a supernatural take on your. He goes, well, you know, there's also the Mist too. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, Thomas Jane, I met him twice. I let him cut in front of me at the line to get coffee too.
That's cool.
And he was like, hey, you're like a guy with the comic books. I was like, yes. He remembers me.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Steve Niles a couple times, and he had just done the Bigfoot book, the Bigfoot horror book.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I go, hey man, can you please? He says, do you want to be in the comic book or the movie? I go, no, I want to be a consultant. So,
he's like, oh, okay.
yeah, because he didn't think I was going to. I think he said I wanted to be in the movie. I go, no, I want to be a consultant.
Yeah, see, I think him and Ben Templesmith, if they were together, the comic books was fire.
Yeah,
because Ben Templesmith, I just loved his artwork.
Yeah, he had a obscure, strange, morbid style.
It was a weird style that I'd never seen, because everything was all comic books is supposed to be like clear. When you see the picture, blah blah blah, the picture frame in the background. His was like splish splash. Here are the characters. It's kind of messy. A lot
of foreshadowing, not foreshadowing, but cross hatching and all that stuff. So it was really neat. I really liked his style.
Ben Templesmith, man.
So
good stuff.
This week we're gonna have part 2 to Terry Cagle. I'm saying it right this time, right? Terry Cagle.
Terry Cagle.
Man, that cup is loud.
It is.
It is.
I finished it.
So we got part 2 to Terry Cagle. Are you ready to bring him on?
Terry Cagle, yeah, man, bring him on.
All right, here we go. Terry, I wanted to ask you also. You also do food reviews.
Yes, I do. I am a fat boy. Always have been. Probably always will be. No, folks, that is not fat shaming. That is just calling it like it is.
I would say it's PHAT.
Well, I appreciate that.
Pretty hot and tempting.
You know, that actually started back in 2012. Actually, my father passed away, and he got sick in 2008, and my mother.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My mother, to her credit, stuck by his side the entire time, and he was bedridden. He got what they call transverse myelitis, and he couldn't feel anything from below his.
Paralyzed, yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't feel anything from just below his chest down. And, she stuck by him and sacrificed, and she, like I say, she didn't even hardly get out of the house much. And after he passed away, I looked at her and I told her that whatever she wanted to do or whatever she wanted to see, let me know. I'd make it happen. And she was always watching Food Network and stuff like that. And we would find interesting restaurants that she wanted to try. And then we would take what we would call road trips. And we would go to... There was one place that Robert Irvine actually went in and redone.
And fixed it up?
Just north of Huntsville. Went and tried it. Found out about Paula Dean's restaurant in Savannah with her boys. Mm-hmm. Made a trip down there.
I love her because she says, oil.
The best fried chicken I have ever put in my mouth.
Really?
Yes. I kid you not. We this past summer we took a small road trip just because I was at the time I had put in my notice where I was going to take another job. I figured I wasn't going to be able to take a vacation or anything for a little while. Mm-hmm. So, we basically just set out on a little road trip, drove up through Memphis. I love Memphis barbecue. I've got friends up there. If you're listening to this, hi everybody. And went across the bridge, went into Arkansas, ended up going up to Branson, Missouri. Branson was nice, but I don't see what the big deal is.
Branson?
Yeah.
Do they have the Titanic deal there?
I'm sure they do. Okay. I didn't see it, but I'm sure they do.
You went to that famous chicken place too in Memphis too, right? There's I see it all the time on Food Network on Memphis. Like Justin Timberlake's been there, Marilyn Manson. Not Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus.
I can see it right now. It's across from a new brewery that has a big rooster on it right next to the water. Mm-hmm. Gus's Fried Chicken.
Yes, that one.
I have been there. I've been there twice.
Is that good too? Does it live up to the hype?
First time that I went there, I didn't think so. Second time I went there, it was much better. Oh, okay. I personally didn't think it touched Paula Dean's though.
Oh damn! Okay.
Oh
yeah. If Justin
y'all, I'm telling you what.
If Justin Timberlake is hearing this, we're sorry.
Well, he's a Memphis native and he's biased.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He might have brought sexy back, but
He did. He brought it back.
Yeah. Our early episodes, we talk about Justin Timberlake a lot. But anyway, go ahead.
We left Branson, and we did all of this in one day, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. Drove on up to Kansas City. We spent the night in Kansas City. Again, I love Memphis. I love Memphis barbecue. I consider myself a barbecue snob. Kansas City blew me away. Joe's Barbecue in Kansas City, if your people are listening to this and you love barbecue, I have yet to try Texas barbecue. I've never had Texas brisket except for, at the Buc-ee's. I don't consider that Texas barbecue.
It's all right.
It's okay.
I mean, it's all right.
But I want to experience Texas barbecue.
Oh, Lord.
Because Kansas City blew me away. I would, if I had the money and the time right now, I would get in my truck and I would drive straight to Kansas City just so I could eat at Joe's Barbecue.
Wow.
For no other reason.
I would
be a happy guy.
I heard you talking about that when you were interviewing I think Mr. Pricer, Pricer,
Yes.
the arm wrestling guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking like a long time about barbecue. And it was making me.
Yes.
I was driving. It was making me hungry. I go, damn it, Terry.
He was killing. He was killing me. I was thinking. By the time we got done with that conversation, I wanted to fire up my smoker that I'm sitting next to right now, my Traeger.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
So if he were to come over here, what barbecue place would we take him?
This is fixing to get good.
Which barbecue place? I take them probably. There's a lot in West Dallas, but they're like someone's house.
Yeah,
there's like someone's house.
The walls.
But there's a place here in Texas that's really good. It's really expensive. It's called Hard Eights, and you go and I swear you get like a couple meats and a couple some corn. It's like $46.
Yeah,
you get what you pay for.
I go, good Lord! I go, do I get a microwave too or something? Or what?
There's also Hurtado's barbecue, which my wife and her family loves.
Yeah.
And to this day, they're still saying that's the best barbecue in Texas. There's Hurtado's.
There was some places that my dad used to take me when I was little, when I was like 6 or 7, and he would take me to these places in West Dallas that was running by these old African American guys. And I think one of them was called Hardeman's, the other one's called Soul Man's. And
yeah.
And we would go in there, Terry, and you couldn't tell like the paint on the wall because it was so burnt out. It was so much smoke in there.
It was probably the best barbecue.
Yeah, it was. It was.
That's the thing about those hole in the walls, as you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
You can go to fancy restaurants all day long. I've been to a couple. But your best food is going to be the hole in the walls.
Yeah.
Every single time.
That's why I say Hard Eights is one of those big restaurants. But when you go in, it's actually pretty neat because they have those 4 huge big smokers.
Yeah.
And then it's like chicken, brisket.
You just point at what you want.
Yeah, you just point at the meats you want, and then you go inside, and then that's whenever they have all the sides that you want. Potato salad.
It's like a thing like a wood block with a paper on it, and then you just walk in there with that. So
it's so weird. It's really weird. But when you're eating it, you're like, oh shit, damn, this is really good. $46, it better be.
Yeah.
Shit.
We spent the night in Kansas City, and then we drove up. I want to say it's 29. It's the interstate that goes literally right on the Iowa and Nebraska border and crisscrosses into it. Goes up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Mm-hmm. We went up that way, and I thought it was interesting that when we got into South Dakota, that was absolutely the best interstate that I have ever been on, bar none.
Yeah, I heard you talk really bad about some interstates. But yeah.
No potholes whatsoever, and I've been on a few being a truck driver. Mm-hmm. None. And the asphalt up there was red. And I ended up asking a driver that I knew, he's in his 60s. His name is Dwayne Hildreth, but his CB handle is Magnum.
I like it.
And he's been pretty much everywhere, done pretty much everything. I really want to sit him down and have a conversation with him on my show just to let him tell stories because they're fantastic. And I asked him about it because one of the routes that he ran, was from down here, went up to up around Minneapolis, and picked up for I think it was Kohler or Polaris, one of the two, and went back over into South Dakota and everywhere, and then came back up there. He stayed out about a week and came home. And he told me that the reason why the asphalt up there is red is because it's got an extra pigment in it to help de-ice. I thought that was interesting and everything like that. And then we went to Sioux Falls and then went back east there toward Minneapolis. And as soon as we crossed over into Minneapolis, the interstate went right back to crap.
You think he has any stories like of paranormal stuff like on the roads anywhere?
I am going to ask, and if he says yes, I will let you know.
Yes.
Yeah, still, when you bring up truckers, I always think about what we talked about was it the state highway in Texas, the serial killer?
Yeah. There's a serial killer on, was it 45? I-45?
I think it's I-45.
There's still a current serial killer that's been killing like runaways. And
really,
the girls, and they're all girls, and it's like,
is he a happy face copycat?
Probably. So
no, if you don't know what the happy face killer is, the happy face killer was a serial killer that went up the West Coast and would have his way, and then throw the bodies off of the cliffs and stuff like that, and just keep driving.
Yeah, and it's just really like it's the perfect cover up if it's a trucker. Because he's got all that trailer, he's got all whatever he needs or her, and
especially if no one's looking for these people.
No one's looking for these people. It's the perfect cover up, and that person's never been caught.
Yeah, it's been like over 20 years they haven't caught this guy. So.
And I'm just like, man, it makes me wonder if any of these truckers like know something they don't even know that they know,
or it could be a guy disguising as a trucker.
That's what I think.
The trucking community isn't necessarily as close knit as it used to be.
Yeah,
you see the old movies like Smokey and the Bandit or things like that, where you see all of them on the CBs talking about some good buddy this and everything like that. It's not that way anymore, guys. A lot of this new generation driver don't even know what a CB is.
See, that bothers me because like. I always hear the thing about truckers being lonely, like all the time, and I think that a CB radio is like one of those escapes where you connect with another person. Someone. Yeah,
it's a lonely job, guys. It really is, and
it pays well.
It does pay decent, but it don't pay near as well as it used to.
Oh wow!
Between rise of freight or the rise of fuel prices, freight prices hasn't necessarily went up. Owner operators are having troubles, and in a lot of instances they're trying to push owner operators out. California actually passed a law not too long ago, from what I've heard, that you couldn't be an independent driver and come into the state of California. At least that's what I heard. I don't know that to be true. That's what I heard.
I need to ask my wife, because my wife is a trucker and dispatcher. And she talks to a bunch of truckers, and she's like, "Man, truckers, they're a different breed."
They are the old school ones used to be, but I have come across the truck drivers these days are really sensitive.
Yeah, she's come across a lot of that too.
Really sensitive. I also do a little dispatching and everything with the company that I'm with now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but a lot of them only think about their situation and everything else, and rightfully so. Whenever I was driving full time, I wasn't worrying about everybody else. I was just worrying about me and what I was doing. But whenever you become a dispatcher, you not only have to think like that trucker and think about that trucker, but you've got to think about everybody on your board. It's kind of like looking at some woods, and then the further back you go, the bigger your scene gets. You're not just looking at one tree, or you're looking at 25.
You think about the customer too, right?
Yeah, and then also the customer. That'd be another tree in this example. And then whenever you move up to like terminal manager or whatever, you're thinking, not only are you worrying about the dispatchers and the office people, but you're also worrying about the drivers themselves. and the customers. So you basically see a humongous forest, whereas just being a driver, you're only seeing the tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
she was telling me all about that, and like how they have to worry about the weight of the cargo or freight, whatever, and if it
Yes.
doesn't match, they have to go back.
Yes.
You know, if they don't do a certain thing or check in or something like that,
They
like
get enough sleep.
no,
Yeah.
I mean obviously, yeah, the sleeping part's important, but if they don't make it there at a certain time,
sleep is very important.
yes. If they don't make it there a certain time, you know, it just depends on where they're delivering to. They won't accept it. You know, it's. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do that.
It's a hard job.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see a lot of stuff. You know, the recruiters out there always, you can see the country. Well, yeah. And I bit into that a little bit until I went on my first route with the company that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go through Knoxville and then go up 75 north up into Kentucky. And if you've ever been on that stretch during the daytime, it's beautiful. I was going through there at 12, 1 o'clock at night whenever you couldn't see nothing but a full moon, if there happened to be one. So yes, you can see the country as long as you're running during the daytime.
Man, your friend Phillips, he hates Knoxville. Right?
I'm not particularly fond of the college. And I actually love the city of Knoxville, and I wouldn't be afraid to live there, but I can't handle that gaudy orange.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing about college football. You know, it's ingrained in this area, and it's, you know, where you're at. You know, the Dallas Cowboys gets a lot of the press, and I'm assuming now the Houston Texans do too.
No,
not as
never.
much.
No, never.
No,
Really?
They don't exist.
that's not on 45.
Yeah.
Well, here, and I've said this on my podcast several times, Sports Talk Radio in Birmingham follows Nick Saban and talks about Nick Saban 365 days a year. If he was to go and piss behind a bush, they would talk about it.
Oh God. Yeah, I guess you could say that's the same thing
And-
here with
Yeah,
Dak
the
Prescott.
Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, you know, got a manicure. I'm like, okay.
Jerry Jones and
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
You know, I've actually met Jerry Jones a bunch of times. I almost hit him with a cart of liquor once.
Oh, I've got to hear this story.
So I was 18 years old,
18 years old.
and I was working at Texas Stadium at the time, and I was
OG.
working. Yeah, I was an OG, and I was working as a barback. And people who don't know what a barback is that I would set up like bartenders. Like anytime a bartender needed something, they would call me. I would grab it and go run it to them. And so Jerry Jones had a party. This is when he had Jimmy Johnson on the team. So he would throw a party for Jimmy Johnson after every game, and a party for his wife Jean Jones before every game. So my one job was to stock her bartender and Jimmy Johnson's bartender. And I forgot to stock Gene Jones's bartender. So Jerry called like pretty upset. And my boss tells me, goes, "Hey, get the stuff over there, get it as fast as you can." And so I got a shopping cart, and I threw a bunch of premium stuff in there, like Stoli and all that stuff, and I just ran down the hallway as fast as I could. So I was just like sprinting really hard. I turn a corner. Jerry steps out of some suite that he was, I guess, in, and I slam on the brakes, and he catches the cart with his hand, like both of his hands, Terry. And I go, "Mr. Jones, I'm sorry." He goes, "That's quite all right. Just get it in there." Yeah. And so I roll it in real quick. I pull out all the bottles. I put spigots on it, and I ran out before he asked my name. Yeah. And so years later, I was working for a company called IDON in downtown Dallas. I was working at some residential condo place. And somebody owned like the penthouse, but I didn't know who it was. And so long and behold, a Lincoln pulls up, a black Lincoln, and it's Jerry Jones. And he comes out. And I was told by the property management to hand him a key, like put it in your hand, like you're going to shake his hand. Like he didn't want anybody to see him, like hand him a key. So you had to hand it to him like in a handshake. Uh-huh. And so I handed him the key. He went up to the penthouse to go look at it and came back down. And I told him, I go, "You don't remember me, do you?" And he goes, "No, I don't." And I go, San Diego preseason game, the Tejas room. He goes, was that you that almost hit me like in the knees with that cart? I go, yes.
And
so
he being the guy that he is, he remembered that all these years later.
Yes. He threw out $100, hand it to me. He says, thank you for not hitting my knees. And he walked off. So
what he didn't tell you is that whenever that he was calling in and he was upset, he goes, "We better send that fucking Mexican over here with that cart of liquor. You send him right now. I don't care how fast he's going. You send him right now." And he got it. He was like, "Oh shit, he's right here." Oh hell.
But yeah, he gave me $100, and I was really happy about that. So, and
Jerry's always come across to me as a fascinating person. Now, I've always had a lot of respect for him.
He's a good dude, man. He had opportunities to get, because like he came in like later on, because he ended up buying that penthouse. He came in like at night at times, like the property manager told me, if Jerry Jones comes in with a circus, let him up. Just let him up. And I go, okay. So I was supposed to stop people after a certain time, but Jerry would come in with like 20 people, and I would just let him go up. I said, yeah, go ahead and go up. And he was really nice to me. He had opportunities to get mad at me, and he never did. Like, now his son, Steven Jones, that guy's a jerk, big time. Yeah, he was a big.
He came too.
Yeah, he would show up too, and he would throw that, you know who I am stuff, and I go, oh Lord.
No, he's one of those guys.
He's trying to step out of his father's shadow.
I'm telling you, man, the Oak Cliff almost oozed out of me. I swear.
Jerry's always come across as me as the type of person that never forgot where he came from.
He was good to us, Terry. I mean, he would whenever the first year I was working at Tech Stadium, he would throw Christmas parties. He would invite the housekeepers, the landscapers, the concessions, the cheerleaders, the team. Like I sat at a table with I think Mark Tooney, Herschel Walker.
Wow.
I think it was not Troy Aikman, but it was the other quarter. I can't think of the other quarterback.
Bledsoe?
No, Bledsoe wasn't there then. So,
Culpepper?
Junior Tillatatasi and some other people. I can't
Testaverde?
No.
You're not talking about Roger Staubach, are you?
No.
Who was the backup for Aikman?
He was a guy, Walsh.
Walsh.
Wow. Tell you're a true fan.
Yeah.
Nobody ever remembers the backup.
Yeah, Walsh.
That's my uncle right there.
So I sat at a table with Herschel Walker, Junior Tillatatasi, Steve Walsh, Mark Tooney, and a couple of cheerleaders that I didn't remember who they were. And it was really good food, and he fed us really good, and it was good, man. I really enjoyed my time there, and he treated us really well. The only thing I felt really bad about was I got let go because I think it was seasonal, and I got let go. And right before they went to Super Bowl 27, they took the whole group to go to do parties at Pasadena.
Oh mother!
Wow!
And even the housekeepers and all the people that did suite service got rings.
Really?
Yeah.
You should call Jerry right now and be like, "Hey man, what the heck?
I'm gonna hit your knees.
I want a seasonal ring. Ring.
I still know how to roll that cart, man.
This time I'm gonna be on the cart. No stopping now. You're gonna get hit with the weight of that and the weight of the Dominguez.
I know, with this cart with rims on it.
That's right.
Yep, that's right, man.
I'm gonna be coming at you, fist in the air, flying like Superman.
Yeah.
Superman punch. So,
oh man,
Terry, man, man, this has been fun. I've been.
You know how I get nervous when it comes to talking to new people, but no, I felt really, quite comfortable. He understands our humor, so
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep it PG.
Oh no, I had to break that barrier a while ago.
Terry, you do not have to do that.
Yeah,
we're unrestricted, so you can cuss, you can do whatever you want on this one. But I was going to tell you that we don't necessarily call ourselves podcasters. We call ourselves cryptid sports entertainers.
Nice.
So, cryptid sports entertainers.
Yeah, name pending right now.
Well, since you do that, I'm gonna be listening for you to do an introduction. Like, This is Bigfoot Club.
Yeah. We should do that.
Yeah, we should. We should
Paul
do
Heyman.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
My name is Paul Heyman.
So,
With Brock Lesnar.
is there anything you wanna talk about before we get off there?
Anything that you want to talk about, my friend, we can. I can keep going. We can end it however you want to do it. I've appreciated being on your show, and anytime you want to have me back, or if your listeners really enjoy this, and let him know if you enjoy this, and I will be more than happy to come back at any time.
Terry,
I do have a question.
yeah, it's
What?
Steve. That's Steven's shtick. Every time I'm getting ready to close the show, he does that all the time.
No, it's not a Bigfoot question this time.
Okay.
This is actual, because he said he loves barbecue. What is to you? What is the perfect barbecue plate and the perfect drink that you have, that you always go to?
I love pulled pork, and I love brisket. Mm-hmm. Ribs are good, but I don't like baby back ribs. Can't stand them. If I'm going to eat ribs, they got to be spare ribs.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I really enjoy smoked chicken. I've got a cousin of mine that makes a fantastic beer can chicken.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
oh yeah. And
That is interesting.
I get to go to his house once a year. He shows off. He breaks out. He's got his own little patio built up, and he's got, hibachi over here grilling up hamburger patties. He's got his smoker over here doing beer can chicken. His wife looks up recipes of different types of knickknacks and finger foods and stuff like that. I'll gain 10 pounds every time I go to his house.
Wow.
Well,
But as far as my go-to perfect barbecue meal, right now, I'll be honest with you, Joe's is top-notch to me.
and that has pulled pork and
they
chicken?
got everything. But yes, they've got sampler plates and everything up there. But I really loved their brisket, and I really loved their pulled pork. I would want to do a combo plate of both of those, and then probably have either coleslaw, depending on where I'm at, or because everybody's coleslaw is different. Some of it's real vinegary, others is more mayonnaise based. But coleslaw and some fries. As far as the sides go, I'm really simple. I'm more worried about the meat.
Oh, there you go. And then the perfect drink to go with that.
Well,
Could be beer.
I still drink every once in a while, but I don't drink nowhere near what I used to whenever I was in my 20s. Whenever I was in my 20s, I was going through a real dark period, and I would literally work just to support my clubbing habit. And Jägermeister was a drink of choice back in the day. We'd go in, we'd follow the radio station locally to 2 different places. They'd be at one place Friday, and then they'd be at another place on Saturday. Why would we follow the radio station? It's where all the girls went. We'd walk in, I'd go straight to the bar, I would order 4 double shots of Jaeger, and then I would hit the dance floor. Fat boy's got a little move. My buddy would be walking around continuing to drink and do all kinds of debauchery. And if I ever went about an hour or so without seeing him, I'd get nervous, and I'd usually go find him next to where we parked because he got thrown out because he was drunk. But these days I like to drink maybe 1 or 2, but I really like craft beers now because I can look at anything Budweiser and get indigestion, and once the craft beers really started coming into play, I just started trying different ones and found a couple that I really like. There's one in particular that's actually brewed in Gadsden, Alabama, from Back 40 Beer Company. It's called Truck Stop Honey. It's a brown ale, and I really enjoy it. So if I'm going to be drinking alcohol, I'd probably say Truck Stop Honey. But A couple of years ago, whenever I started losing my weight, right before then, I was drinking anywhere between 2 to 3 gallons of sweet tea a day and somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 liters of Dr. Pepper a day. So whenever the doctors told me that I was trying to go, or I was basically a diabetic, well, I've got diabetes in my family, and I've seen that you can control it with your diet.
Yep.
I told them, and whenever they tried to put me on a diabetic pill, I was like, yeah, I'm not taking that. I said, I'll control it with my diet. And they laughed at me. Well, when you laugh at me like that, that competitive nature that I talked about
oozes out, right? It oozes out.
And I sit back, and in my head, I'm like, all right, you pricks, you're laughing at me now. But the next time I come in here, by God, I'm going to show you. I'm fixing to show you what I'm made of. And I got my A1C down 2 points inside of 3 months, really easy, just by cutting out a lot of my breads and pastas, which was really hard, by the way.
Yes.
And I just cut all carbonated drinks out. The only time I've had one in over 2 years is when the drive-thru gives me one by accident. And I drink unsweet tea. Ooh. As much as that, it hurts, but I can't handle sweet tea anymore. I just can't do it.
Well,
but it is what it is.
That's good that you turned it around, man. Yeah. I was going to say what I think is very it doesn't do it justice. It's insulting when somebody gets a good plate of barbecue. They got all the fixings, they got all the right stuff on there, but they're drinking water.
Yeah,
that pisses me off.
I can definitely understand why that would piss you off. But
yeah,
as somebody who had to watch what he drinks, I can kind of see that perspective now, whereas beforehand I couldn't. So, but yeah, I can definitely understand. Dude, used to, I don't know if you have tried Alabama's own Milo sweet tea, but
we have not.
I used to check out your local grocery stores, folks. It'll change your life.
Milo's
sweet tea.
Yeah, usually whenever we do sweet tea, it's like we do Red Diamond, and Red Diamond's pretty good.
Red Diamond is good, but Milo's is actually better.
Oh, okay.
It looks like syrup. The bottle looks like syrup.
Oh Lord.
Yes. It's actually in a gallon milk jug.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's delicious. And if you let it sit a week, you'll see a bunch of sediment down there in the bottom where it looks like syrup, like he was talking about.
So that means you got to shake it, and then
oh yeah,
okay.
You got to get that. You got to get all that goodness mixed back up, so you can get your blood sugar jacked up.
Yeah. No, I was in the same boat there with because I weighed like almost 440 pounds.
Oh yeah,
and I brought.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", so that was bad.
Well, I'm 6'7", and last time I weighed, I was around 430. So
yeah. So 6'7". Wow, you are tall. My goodness, you did not tell me he was tall.
He's a tackle.
Oh my goodness. So
once a tackle, always a tackle, as Jerry Clower once said.
5'9", 440 pounds, and they're all like, you. My A1C was like at 11. And they were all like, whatever you need to do, you need to do it now.
I'm surprised I didn't put you on a shot.
Yeah, no, they gave me a pill. They gave me metformin.
That's what they tried to give me.
Yeah, and I've been taking it. I take it every day just because, I want to control it. And but my biggest issue was sleep apnea. So when I got my BiPAP machine, I've been sleeping better, and weighed 440, and now I weigh 366.
Congratulations!
So yeah, it's definitely a game changer. You never realize how important sleep is until you start not sleeping for like a year, and you start hallucinating things, and that can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah,
I have done that while I was driving before. If y'all
God
got time,
Terry.
If y'all got time, I'll tell you that story before we have to go.
Okay.
You mentioned Boaz earlier. It's
Boaz.
it's like 72 miles from my house up there, and I was actually driving up there than starting a 11 to 12 hour shift than driving back home. So I would go about halfway. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Mondays, and Fridays especially, I did not sleep at all. And I would drive up to work, and I would catch a nap. I'd get there early, and I'd catch a nap before my shift started. And I would chug a 5-hour energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had also stopped at the gas station on my way up, bought about 5 or 6 Dr. Peppers, bought 5-hour energy drinks, and sometimes I bought a Bang energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'd start my shift. I'd go up to Dixon, Tennessee, and I would go up to Nashville on 65, hit 840, and I would usually stop around exit 10, and I'd get out, and I would walk on the side of the road right next to the truck just to get my blood pumping again, and jump back in the truck, and then I would find a competition. Whenever I went up to do what people in the industry call drop and hook, which is back one trailer on the dock, drop it, get out, and then hook up to another one. I would do it at one speed one night, and then I'd play beat the clock the next. I'd literally be running around, fat boy running. It ain't pretty, but I was doing it for multiple reasons. One, to wake up, and then just something to do to break the monotony. Mm-hmm. Go get my paperwork, and then I'd leave again. But whenever I left, I'd drink my other 5-hour energy. Mm-hmm. I'd get back to the yard, and I always kept a pillow with me. I'd catch a 30-minute nap for my break, and then I would run another load down to Lincoln, Alabama, drop and hook, come back to the yard, and then I would go home. By the time I'd get home, I'd be so caffeined up that I couldn't sleep. Well, one Friday night, what we were talking about earlier about how CBs are kind of going away. Part of the reason why they're going away is because of cell phones and headsets. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of your truck drivers will call their buddies, and then they'll call their buddies, and then you'll end up with like 6 or 8 people on the phone at the same time, and everybody's just having a big group conversation. I was doing that one night, and then and again, I hadn't slept, and there was one guy, and since you guys are in podcasting, or you're, what was it that you said you were again?
Cryptid sports entertainers.
Cryptic entertainers, yes. Whenever somebody's talking to you and they got a real monotone voice and they talk like this, sometimes it really is relaxing. And they don't change their octaves at all, and they kind of woo you to sleep. Well, I was almost cussing this guy because he just started talking and telling stories, and everybody starts getting quiet. And I'm just sitting over there like, dude, you're killing me. I was like, you're going to have to get some bass in your voice. You're going to have to get a little bit excited, something. And I should have pulled over and caught a nap, but I didn't. It was Friday night. It was the end of my week. I was what we call homeward bound. Mm-hmm. I go through Gunnersville, and as I'm coming up 431 up Sand Mountain that goes up to Albertville and into Boaz, I started seeing stuff.
What type of stuff?
I saw a dog run out like the black dog, like the old myth. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. If you push too hard and you don't sleep and all that, they talk about the black dog and how it'll, like the Patrick Swayze movie. Yes, that myth is true. Drivers have seen that, and it's not went well. But it's because you push yourself with the lack of sleep, and you start hallucinating. I started seeing red lights change that wasn't there, and luckily it was at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning where there wasn't any traffic out there, because I'd stomp on the brakes, everything, just thinking. I had people on the phone with me, one of my friends, and I'm not proud of this, by the way. I'm really not. But he was like, dude, you need to pull over. I was like, I can't. I'm too close to the yard. And I wouldn't but like 15 minutes from the yard whenever I started seeing stuff. And I made it back and got unhooked And the funny part about it was I was wide awake as soon as I got out of the truck.
Terry, you were blessed, man.
Yeah. The Lord was looking out for me, my friend.
Yeah.
No doubt. And then they were sitting there yelling at me and everything else, trying to keep me awake and keep me alert. But yeah, I was legit scared. And there was a stretch, like I said, that I just wasn't sleeping. And there was about 5 instances where I fell asleep at the wheel coming home or nodded off. And I mean, it scared the bejesus out of me, to the point where I was actually fixing to quit the job. And whenever I went to talk to my boss about it, he told me about the yard that's in Coleman, and here we are. But yeah, that 6 months was rough. So I can definitely understand where you was talking about being sleep deprived and seeing things.
Yeah, that's
it's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've also got another story for you. There's an old it's a ghost story.
Go.
There's an old trucker's wives' tale that if you go down Highway 5 at night, Highway 5 comes from Haleyville, Winston County, up north of me, up by where my girlfriend lives. Hey, Stacy, I love you.
Hey, Stacy.
And the story goes that there was a girl that got picked up by a truck driver, and it didn't go too well. She ended up dying. But now the old story is if you're in a truck going down Highway 5 and you see a girl float into the cab with you, you do not acknowledge her, no matter what you do. Or because if you acknowledge her, you'll end up in the ditch. And that's a 2-lane highway with no shoulders at all.
Oh, wow. That's a
vengeful spirit.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, what if you acknowledge her, like, with care, like, or
it's still the same?
Is it
still the same, my friend?
Oof.
From everything that I've heard, and anybody that acknowledges her, it does not end well.
Oof.
Do you know any drivers who experienced it, or is it just hearsay?
It's hearsay.
Okay.
I've never actually talked to anybody that's legit experienced it. But you hang around a truck stop and listen to some of the older guys, not the younger ones,
right?
But you listen to the older guys just tell stories. You can learn so much just by listening to people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
And just to tie it right back in with the podcast, that's what I like to do. Even in my real life, I like to try and hear and let people share their story and hear where they come from, where they've been. Because you can, like I said earlier, about talking about perspectives and stuff, and I say it in my intro all the time. Your perspective could be changed, or you could change the perspective of others.
Mm-hmm. That's very wisdom there.
I really that's why I say I really dig your show, because actually I listen to your show, Wes Anderson. I got to get you and Wes Anderson together. He does In the Shed with Wes Anderson. I forgot what part of Alabama he's from, but he's a War Eagle guy. But anyway, sorry.
Well, I can agree to disagree.
He's good peeps, though.
Yeah, he is. He's good peeps.
I mean, nobody on this earth is perfect. Right. Everybody's got their flaws, even their choice of football teams. So
TCU, baby, TCU.
Horned frogs.
Yeah.
What is a horned frog? Before y'all hang up on me.
It's a horny frog.
It's a horned toad. We thought you turned into a
horned toad.
Horned toad.
Is it actually a real thing?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a frog that's got its head got some spikes on it. It's got spikes on it.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're kind of ouchy, but anyway.
Yeah, they're aggressive, but they're as long as you don't mess with it.
Horny toad.
Ouchie. Is that kind of like Oosie?
Yeah, it is. It's Is that what this is about? But what else was I going to say? Dang it,
brother! You know me. I can talk all night.
I know you could. Terry, how does someone find Porch Matters Podcast?
Very, very simple, my friend. Just go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can punch in Porch Matters Podcast. You will see the logo. I've got a Facebook page. I've got a Facebook group. There's an Instagram page. There's also a Twitter page. I would really appreciate it if you checked us out. I say us. It's me and my buddy over here in my pocket. But check me out. And, it's something different every show and different topics each week or every other week, because that's whenever I release. And it's just me having a conversation with somebody that I find interesting. Nothing more, nothing less. And, maybe you can get something out of it, even if it's just decent entertainment going to work, going back and forth to work or wherever you go. So I'd really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you, Robert, for allowing me to come onto your show. And I hope that it's been a positive experience.
It has. It really has.
And anytime you want me to come back, let me know, my friend.
Absolutely. I need a favor from you, though.
Okay.
I need you to do a soundbite for me.
What kind of soundbite?
Just say your name, Porch Matters Podcast, and you're listening to the Bigfoot Club Podcast.
This is Terry Cagle with Porch Matters Podcast, and you are listening to Bigfoot Club.
I like it.
He went straight to it.
Yeah, he's like the Australian guys.
Yeah.
The Australian guys did it all like in one take. And
they all said, I don't know. I think here's the thing. You are listening to the Bigfoot Club Podcast. I'm like, what?
Welcome to Bigfoot Club.
Terry, thank you so much for coming on, man. We had a great time. I had a great time. I was laughing and
yeah, as always, I don't feel like we say this too much, but we appreciate just collaborating with other podcasters,
right?
And or cryptid sports entertainers.
Yeah,
cryptid sports
and like I said, we don't. It doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal, but it ended up being about some paranormal stuff that you've heard. And I
think Terry's the second person that we've had on that has nothing, doesn't do Bigfoot or paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but he knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely a fan.
Yes, and we appreciate it, and you're definitely you're welcome back.
Like Terry was saying on his show, he says I'm going to be on Bigfoot Club. He goes, I know what you're thinking. What can I bring to a Bigfoot Club podcast? But we'll find out.
Well, he did it.
He brought it. What we can find out.
Yeah, he brought it.
I'm going to probably drop this either Saturday night or Sunday morning. So you'll be the first person I'm going to send it to.
Let me know, and I'll also send you some pictures and stuff for your promotional stuff if that's what you want me to
I appreciate it very much, man. Mm-hmm. Say hi to Stacy and Xander for me.
Will do. They're up in Gatlinburg right now, living it up. So.
Alrighty, and say hello to your mom for me.
That I'll do.
Like
Steven, it was great to meet you.
It was great to meet you.
Looking forward to talking to you again. Your uncle has done nothing but talk you up the entire time we've talked.
I'm all right. I'm just all right. No, but it was great meeting you, man. I heard nothing but great things about you, and you definitely lived up to the hype.
Your uncle has been a great friend to me, even though we've never met each other face to face. It's been an honor to know you, my friend.
Yeah, you too, man.
And the only thing I got to say before we go is roll tide.
Roll tide, my friend.
All right, brother.
I'll even give you a we dem boys.
We dem boys.
We dem boys, yeah.
We dem boys.
All right, brother. Good night, man.
Good night, my friend.
Good night.